Hi, my name is Rachel or Richie. I was 18 when I went to college, and I always wanted to study computer programming. I dreamed of making new friends, and the change of environment itself will bring a lot of new experiences. First, I will tell you a little bit about my family. My father heads a construction company, my mother is a housewife, and they have 8 children, including me, 7 sons, and me. Ask what it's like to live with 7 brothers, and I'll tell you. I was born the middle child, the fourth in a row. For as long as I can remember, Dad's garage was always full of toy guns, cars, and soldiers. The father barely had any time to buy new toys, as they were immediately destroyed by one of the sons, not specially, of course, during the game. Too much brothers loved to get used to the role of the Hulk and other Marvel characters. Time passed, and gradually toys were replaced by gadgets, game consoles. The boys grew, and with them increased the number of dirty socks scattered around the house. But you can't imagine what went on in our bathroom when the boys shaved their beards. Our family bought men's looms and shaving foam at the supermarket like matches on the last day before the apocalypse. The trips to the hairdresser, they carried more than I am. But most of all, I didn't love when they all played football together. Why? Because after an interesting game, when they entered the house, the living room turned into a torture chamber of smell of sweat. Our dog, with its super sense, hid under the carpet at such moments as the ostrich, searching for ways to escape. My father was happy that the house had the power to fix something, move it, rearrange it. None of this was a problem. Only my mom and I had problems. My mother had a headache about how she feeds this football team, and I had to clean up these dirty socks after them. Being the only sister wasn't so easy. On the one hand, I had a lot of defenders. On the other, these heroes often did not mind their own business. For example, whenever I was going on a date, my older brother would give me extra work so that I would be later tired, and the middle ones would be telling me about how young I was. Oh, it drives me crazy, and my brothers made every date a quest. There was a feeling that the main goal of the evening was the only one thing: to ruin my date. One day I was sitting with my boyfriend John in a cafe having dinner. The evening was as beautiful as my couple. We planned to take a little walk around the city after a delicious meal. I wanted to enjoy the summer evening. My date asked the waiter for the bill. "Do you have card or cash?" I heard a very familiar voice. When I looked up, I saw my brother at number 3. He came smiling to our table in a waiter's uniform. Don't ask how he got it. He wanted to get a closer look at my boyfriend. "By card," said my boyfriend, and I, being in shock, opened my mouth and watched as my dear brother grabs my hand, pulls me out of the cafe, and says I didn't like him. To say that I was angry is to say nothing. It seems that all the customers of the restaurant that night were in shock from such a cheeky waiter and did not dare to ask for the bill for a long time. My brother managed to force me out onto the terrace before John jumped up and ran after us. Not finding out about anything, Johnny just knocked my brother down with an uppercut, and he attacked him. My God, there was a fight between them, in which my screams and attempts to stop them were useless. I don't want to say about the minutes of shame among the cafe's guests. 3 minutes later, they were separated by passers-by. At this moment, I was all in tears, hysterical and shouting about how I was ashamed of such a relative. "Brother?" asked John. "Nice uppercut," my brother said, and shook John's hand. He could read a lot of questions in my eyes, but I knew that a man's conversation was brewing between them. So I said goodbye to John, called a taxi, and went home. I will probably never know what kind of test my favorite brothers gave, but I will say one thing. 6 months later, John proposed marriage to me, and very soon I will have to meet his family. By the way, he has 7 sisters.
Hi guys, I'm Charlie. I want to tell you a story about how I spent a week in a women's hostel. It happened that I was the only one of the guys there. To be honest, it was a bit of a shock to me. I have made a lot of new discoveries that I want to share with you. After this difficult week, I confess to you, I already saw the world differently. In my family, only my mother is female, a male father and 2 brothers, so I grew up mostly in a male group. And I didn't go into women's details. There wasn't much interest. I didn't even know how to behave around ladies, and at school, I liked hanging out with the boys more. After high school, I went to university in Florida, but it was miles from home. I couldn't go to school every day from home. Accordingly, I decided to take care of accommodation in advance and applied for a place in the dormitory, and everything seemed to be going well, but I wanted to move to Florida in advance and have a good look around the city. I packed up and left a week early, but of course it doesn't always happen the way we want it to. Upon arrival in the city, I noticed the dormitory where I took a place is currently finishing renovation work. I couldn't check in yet. Apparently, they forgot to warn me about this in advance. But where was I going to live that week? I wasn't thinking. I couldn't rent an apartment because I didn't have much money. But fortunately, I was offered a separate room in a women's hostel. There wasn't anything strange about it, so I agreed. This is where all my discoveries began. Upon arrival, I arranged my things. I lay down to rest a little from the road, and didn't notice and fell asleep. I was awakened by loud shouts and wild laughter. As it turned out, it was just the girls in the next room communicating with each other. There was an active session on how the guys behaved and how delicious the burgers were. This made me laugh a little. It was already evening, and I decided to take a short walk around the city and have dinner at the same time. Unfortunately, I didn't know anyone in Florida, so I was walking by myself. I returned to the dorm late in the evening. On arrival, I saw that all the girls were actively going somewhere. As it turned out, they were preparing to go to a party. Everyone was running down the hall, trying on each other's clothes as if their entire wardrobe was a big free market. I calmly walked to my room and went to sleep in the morning. I again woke up from the noise. It turns out that when they come home drunk from a party, for them, any little thing is the funniest thing in the world. Oh my God, ha ha ha, I just ate a carrot. I couldn't sleep because of the noise. I listened to their conversations until morning. I even tried to tap on the wall to calm them down, but you know, when girls try to be quiet, they make an incredible noise with their shh. When I went to the bathroom in the morning, I saw a staggering number of different jars and bottles, just thousands of them. These innumerable bottles are littering the bathroom, all the shelves, bags, and even the floor. And in the shower itself, I saw clumps of hair stuck to the wall. That's about how all the days in the dorm went. Many girls did not close the door to their room. It was then that I learned all the details. In each group, there is one girl who plays the role of mother to everyone else. She helps everyone take off their makeup, carries water, and makes sure that everyone is home in the evening. And there is one of them that is responsible for evenly applying arrows to the eyes. The others seem useless. There are things they call chicken fillets, and it's not the kind of fillet that we guys eat. Once I was not allowed to go to the toilet from 5 in the evening because there was a queue for the shower until 11, and then for another 3 hours for makeup. Every night during the party preparations, I heard the phrase, "God, I'm so fat, I can't fit into this." And guys, they will always change clothes several times. Do yourself a favor and go to sleep. Do you think that if she tries on a third outfit, she will be ready soon? Ha! Each girl has 2 cosmetic bags, one with cosmetics that they really need all the time, and the other is never used. It's full of stuff they haven't even touched. But they always take it with them, and wherever you look, there will be invisible hair. Gender, invisible man. A bed, invisible man. Shower, invisible again. In general, I couldn't wait until this week passed so I could safely move to my dorm. That's how I learned a lot about girls. Share this video and tell us what other oddities you noticed in them.